Okay, so Ragmore from myworldtour.com.au suggests I do some sort of video posting, some sort of blog thingy, and so since I'm not really ashamed of making an ass of myself, I've done it at least 2 or 3 times this week, here's my attempt in shortest time as possible, approximately 3 minutes. This is Leigh in 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. First up, music news. Probably the biggest news in Sydney right now for music is the lineup for Good Vibes, which even I've heard about, and I'm usually stuck in my bubble. While I really don't think the Killers have been up to standards lately, am I human? Am I dancer? Really? That's what they came up with? The sound of Basement Jaxx, Salt and Pepper, and Naughty by Nature definitely bring me out of my slumber, and bring me back to the hip-hop roots that I really love. There's also Busta Rhymes, but yeah, he's kind of dropped off my radar. I also have to say I'm really excited to see classical legend Nigel Kennedy is coming to Australia in February. He's about the only violinist I can think of that frequently sports a mohawk and plays jazz and Hendrix. And seeing as he's down here playing Duke, Ellington and Bach in the same concert at the Opera House, this is one not to be missed by people who really love music. I mean, if you know jazz and classical, then you probably like everything, a mixture of both, so this is the one to see. So, music reviews, right. Well, I don't buy as much as I'd like to these days, whole GFC, less money, yada yada yada, crap, whatever. But I'm still buying indie tracks off of places like eMusic, and my iPhone is pumping out ridiculous levels of 2 very different bands right now. Memory Tapes and Color. Memory Tapes are an indie electro sort of group out of New Jersey, and they have a sound sort of like that of a science fiction's twistedy soundtrack movie thing. The lines are really addictive, the vocals are compelling, they get stuck in your head, they sort of echo there, and then, wow! Bam! They sort of say, here's a really cool techno beat for you to dance to, you to get up and really get into it. It's really funky, and I like it a lot. Their debut release, or what I can find as their debut release, is called Seek Magic. It's very cool. There's a MySpace link below, and while it's not very long with 8 tracks, you can listen to a lot of it on the MySpace. You're probably going to find something you like on this release. On the other side of the coin, we have Color, who I'm kind of sad to only find out about them now because they're broken up. And they have these really complex drum lines and riffs, these heavy English vocals, sort of remind me of Blur. Remember the sort of really English sort of accent. And they've got these chorus lines that repeat over and over and over again. You pick them up in 10 seconds, then they continue going for another minute and a half. So by the end of it, you've only heard the song once, but you're singing with them. It's really cool stuff. Their album Anthology includes tracks they've recorded over the past 3 years, and it really highlights just how excellent these guys were. In a way, they kind of remind me of some of the sounds the Deer Hunter produced, but it's a completely different style of music. I'll go through the Deer Hunter another day. And now I'm going to show you a gadget, because that's sort of what I do. I'm a tech journal. We review tech for a living. And the gadget I've got is a new camera. It's really designed for people like yourself, going to bands, wanting to take pictures of you and your mates in front of these bands. And often it's really hard to take a picture of yourself because, you can't see yourself. So this is where this camera comes in. I'll just go through some of the basics and then show you that. This is the ST550 by Samsung. There we go. The ST550. And it's a point and shoot, and it's pretty simple, black design, power button, shutter button, zoom button, 12.2 megapixel, which is semi-decent, pretty usable actually, more than semi-decent. You'll notice there are no real buttons on it. That's because it uses what we call a haptic feedback on touchscreen display. This is touchscreen, you can touch everything on there and it all functions that way. And as you put your finger on everything, you feel a little vibration underneath it to make it feel as if you're touching a button, when we all know you're not. But that's not the really standout feature of this. I mean, it's got a whole lot of cool things. It shoots 12 megapixel and little options below it, has 720p high-def video mode. This is what you want to look for. You tap this thing on the front, and you get a front screen to position the camera, so when you want to take a picture of yourself and your mates, this little self-portrait thing look like that, it lets you frame it up, which is really cool. My grandmother had a field day, or at least a ball, as we were taking a picture, and I was showing her in it. And it shows you the image in that as well. On the downside, the lens could be a little bit wider, the battery could be a little bit better. It retails for about $4.99, but considering the technology in this, it's actually not bad. It's lightweight, it's small, and that functionality, I'll just show it. You'll see the green. There we go. You can probably see them. The green squares as it's finding the information there. It's got things like a facial finder where it finds the square around your face, and details and whatnot. It's actually a surprisingly good camera, and I know my cameras. So it's actually got a very, very decent black and white video mode, so much so that I'm probably going to film a short movie in it. So yeah, that's the Samsung ST550. No music kid person should probably be without something like this anyway. That's not a bad one. It's probably one of the best point and shoots I've seen in a while, actually, or at least one of the better ones, especially considering that really cool feature on the front. So that's me for this week. It's October 23rd. Oh, it's not going to be for much longer. And if you want to tell me how well I did, or maybe you want to tell me I'm a douche, you can find me on Twitter at Lilo. There it is. And just be aware that if you come on to tell me I'm a douche, I might call you a douche or a dick in return. But otherwise, have a good weekend. See ya.